Hey everyone, welcome back to my DevOps Home Lab series, episode 7. Today we are shifting gears from just building servers to actually protecting them. If you are learning something new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep this hands on community growing. When I first set up my home server, I was so excited to get it working that I barely thought about security. Okay, I set up my Linux VM, same exactly how we did using a bridge network. So it acted just like another computer on my Wi-Fi. I left SSH port open with a weak password, thinking it's just my home network, what could go wrong? Then I realized anyone on my Wi-Fi network, family, guest, or neighbors Wi-Fi password can log in if they tried hard enough. Even at home, we need to manage users, set strong passwords, and lock down SSH. If you ever forward ports from your router, for example, to your VM, you'll be visible to the whole world. That's why user management and SSH security aren't just cloud problems, they matter in every real world setup, even in our home lab. Why security matters for us? Real servers face real threats. SSH is where pros try to connect. User management is how we can avoid mistakes. Also, we can lock things just for good practice. So, what are we going to learn in this video? What are we going to learn in this video? We'll get SSH working. We already did this. So, you can log in from your host PC. Also, we are going to create some users and log down root to keep bad guys out. How are we going to do? How are we going to do this? I'll walk you through every step and help you troubleshoot if you break something because we have all done it. Now let's get into the demo. First things first, I logged into my virtual machine using username and password. Here we are going to run sudo apt update. Okay, once this is like done, we are going to install SSH server. Sudo apt install open SSH server -y. Press enter. So installation is like going on. The installation is like successful. Now let's look at the status. Systemctl status SSH. Press enter. I can see it is active and running. Now let's go back to host PC. So this is my host PC. So I'm going to use Arbaz and the IP address. Press enter. Give the password. And we are into the machine once again. Now let's create a new user. Okay. How can we do this? Sudo space add user is like the command and the name of the user. DevOps user. Okay. Press enter. It is asking me for password. I'm the root user. So I have the rights to create a user. Let's pause here and I will try to explain line by line what's going on here. First, adding user, DevOps user. The system is starting the process to create a new user named DevOps user. Followed by, you can see selecting UID GID from range 1000 to 549. What it means? Linux gives each user and group a unique number, user ID and for users and group ID for groups. For normal users, these numbers usually start at 1000. The system is picking the next available numbers, followed by adding new group DevOps user 1001. What it means? The system creates a new private group called DevOps user with group ID 1001 for the new user. This is a security best practice on Ubuntu. Followed by, we have adding new user DevOps user 1000 with group DevOps user 1001. What it means? The user DevOps user is created with UUID 1001 and it is assigned to the group DevOps user group ID 1001. This links the user and the private group. Okay. Then the next step is like creating home directory /home/DevOps user. What it means? The system makes a personal folder for the new user at home/DevOps user. This is where all the user files and settings will be stored. Okay. Followed by copying files from /etc/skeleton. The system copies default configuration files from this particular folder into the new home directory. Files like .bashrc, .profile set up the basic environment so the new user has a standard shell and settings from the first login. Now let's give the password. Press enter. Again password. Okay. Changing the user information for DevOps user. Enter the new value or press enter for the default. Default. I'm not going to give any information. Say yes. Press enter. If you see, adding new DevOps user to supplemental extra group users, adding user to group users. Okay. Now we are like ready. Let's switch back to DevOps user. Switch user is the command DevOps. Press enter. Sorry, switch user DevOps user. Okay, press enter. Now I'm going to give the password. If you look at the terminal now, it says DevOps user at devopslab1.com. Previously, we had arbaz at devopslab1.com. So we successfully created a new user. If we write present working directory, I'm in /home/arbaz. I'll come back to this and you can see DevOps user as well. Who am I? DevOps user. Okay, this is how you try to log in. Next, let's give admin rights to our new user. How can we do that? So I'm using user mod command here, -ag space sudo DevOps user. So sudo means run the command with admin privileges. So you have permissions to change user settings. User mod is nothing but this is the Linux command to modify a user account. Followed by -a and g. These are like two flags together. -a means append. Don't remove the user from other groups. Followed by g is nothing but specifies which groups you want to add the user to. Then we have sudo. Sudo means it's like a group name. This is the special admin group on Ubuntu Debian systems. Member of this group can use sudo to run commands as root admin. Next, DevOps user, the user you are modifying. Okay. Now let's try to run this command. Press enter. So we have successfully added the DevOps user to the sudo group. Now let's switch back to the DevOps user. Now let's log out of this machine. So connection close to my server. Let's try to connect once again, but with DevOps user. Okay, press enter. Give the password which you set up and press enter. Now we are back to our server, but with a new user. Previously it was Arbaz, now it's like DevOps user. I once logged myself out by removing my own sudo rights. If you do that, reboot to recovery mode and fix it. See the last episode. Now let's try to open the SSHD configuration. Press enter. So I am doing everything with the new user. Let's look at this configuration file. So in this file, I will try to find the permit root login line. So let's look at that. It is under authentication. I can see permit root login. Currently it is commented out. I am going to uncomment this. Insert mode, remove this comment, followed by, I would say, no. Here I don't want to give root access to anyone except for known users. That means we have some security here. Okay, if you want, you can update the port as well. Instead of 22, you can update it for 2200, for example. Okay, and try to save this file. Okay, now we are going to restart this. Sudo systemctl restart SSH. Press enter. Now only users you trust can log in and root access is locked down. If you mess up SSH and can't log in, don't panic. Use the VirtualBox console to get back into your VM and fix the config file. If you lose sudo access, boot to recovery mode like last episode and fix your user. Breaking things is how you learn. Trust me, I've done all of these multiple times. Career and interview tip. Being able to explain SSH basics, user management, and simple hardening of security will make you stand out in any interview. These are all practical skills that show you are ready for real world DevOps work, not just textbook answers. Now your challenge for today's video: set up a new user, SSH in from your main machine, SSH from your main machine, log down root, did you break something? Break something? Fix it and tell me your story in the comments. And now that you got your lab locked down, it's time to bring your work to the next level. Next episode, we'll set up Git in your home lab so you can finally version control your scripts, your configurations, and even your entire projects like a professional. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and get ready. Your DevOps toolbox is about to get a serious upgrade.